Welcome back. So this will be a follow-up video regarding editing STL meshes within FreeCAD. I received the following comment. So try adding an STL file that is not so complex. And overall, within my previous video, it was mostly regarding importing. So let's also discuss editing. Now, for the case study mesh, I will use the following generative AI model. In this case, this was created using Hitam 3D. This will be the reference image, and we see over here the details for the rooster head. Within the generative AI model, the output is a little bit different. So it has over there that added element, and I want to edit that. Let's see what we can do within FreeCAD initially, but afterwards I'm also going to show you how to work within Blender or within Geomagic, which requires a paid solution software. So let's take a look. I already have that open within FreeCAD, and one of the main problems regarding editing meshes is the fact that there is little functionality. So over here we are within mesh, but we don't have a specific tool that will allow me to just select various elements. So in this case, I created over here a sphere, which in this case, I overlapped it onto the element that I want to cut. So this will be the sphere. I can right click, hit transform, and I can move it around. And the main idea is to use Boolean operation in order to trim those. So the Boolean operation will be available over here. So we have mesh difference, we have intersection, and also union. The main problem is that everything regarding mesh editing, so the Boolean operations, will be linked to OpenSCAD in this case, and that will require to be additionally installed. So if I will select the model, I will select the sphere, we're going to see that those will now be available. So if I will move this sphere, which was created in Blender, let's say that I want to overlap it over here, and now I want to do a cutout between those. I will also slightly move it. You can change over here the increment to make it smoother when you're going to move it. So let's select those. And if I will select, for example, difference, which should be Boolean operation A minus B, in this case, we're going to see that OpenSCAD will have an error. So the main problem is that other features within FreeCAD will not allow you to edit. So I'm going to show you how you can edit that within let's say Geomagic. So let me just go within downloads, and I want to use the same STL file, which is this one. And we're going to see how easy we can work with it over here. So by default, Geomagic will want to analyze the mesh, but I can just rotate onto the desired area. And let's say that I want to trim that part out. I can just do a lasso selection like this. I can hit delete, and that will delete that. If I also want to select the faces that are not facing towards the camera, we need to go over here within select, selection mode, select true. And now if I will redo that selection, and in this case I will take a little bit more over here, I will press delete, we're going to have that deleted. And now we just need to fill this. We can go to polygon, fill single, and I can fill those in. And afterwards, I will need to smoothen that out. So I can go over here with the sandpaper. I can change the strength, and I will just move it on top. So this will smoothen out that area that we filled. So again, this will be a paid option. I really wish that FreeCAD would have this kind of mesh editing capabilities, but there are other free softwares, for example, Mesh Mixer from Autodesk, that is capable of doing similar things. Or there is also Blender. So if you're going to take a look over here within Blender, I will import the same STL file. And there is a similar workflow. It's not that fast over here, but it still works pretty good. So this will be the STL. I will import that. I will slightly scale it and rotate it so I can better work with that. And we have two options, so I can jump directly within sculpting. And also, as you can see, I currently have also FreeCAD open with the same STL file. And if I will zoom in and zoom out, this will be quite laggy. So currently it's not responding. But at the same time, on the same computer, I'm also using Geomagic, which is fluid and can zoom in, zoom out work, as I showed you previously. And over here is Blender, which is again running smooth. So FreeCAD is not intended to edit STL files. So that is also one of the main reasons why I don't recommend using this. You see how laggy it is, and it's also lacking basic features for STL editing. Now, within Blender, there's a similar approach. So I can go ahead, I can select all of those and hit delete within the modeling section over here. So within layout, I can press tab. This will take me to edit mode. I can select, for example, that area, and I can press Ctrl plus, and this will expand the selection starting from that point. And I can expand this as I consider to be fitted. So we see that even Blender struggles a little bit with its mesh, but we'll go back to that. So I can also press Ctrl plus again. It will enter a not responding phase, but it will come back. This is why I recommend Geomagic, but as I said previously, this is not available for free, while Blender and FreeCAD are available for free. As we can see, this will require a bit of processing, so it will go into this not responding, but I'm going to show a different workflow in this case. So we can just do some selections in order to split the mesh where we want to, and afterwards we can delete that top section. But let's see if this will recover. It should recover, but if not, I will just restart Blender. But before I started to do this recording, I edited the mesh within Blender and it worked, but now that maybe it's open within Geomagic and also FreeCAD, it's a little bit more laggy. So let me just start Blender over here again. I'm gonna start a new Blender. So we have this open. I will just import the same model within downloads. This is the rooster model. Again, I can rotate it so I can work with it a little bit better. I'm not gonna scale it now, but I can just jump directly within sculpting environment. And over here, if I will hold down shift, I can start smoothing this out. So that means I can change the shape. The main problem is that if I will try to smooth this out, I'm gonna reach a certain point where we're gonna have this hole in the middle, and we're gonna need to do that mesh separation. So it will be mandatory that I will go back to the layout section over here, and I will delete some of the mesh over here. So in order to do that, I will enable X-ray so I can select through. And now we have over here the selection. I can go with the lasso, just like within Geomagic. I can select, do the following selection. If I want to, I can now press Ctrl plus, and this will expand once. And as you can see, it will not be as laggy as previously. I'm going to press delete, and I want to delete all the vertices that will define that. So we're going to have that cleared. This workflow is similar to the one on Geomagic, but now auto-filling is not that smooth. I need to press tab to go to edit mode. I will select the edge, hold down Alt, and click on an edge over here. As you can see, it doesn't do the full loop, so I'm going to hold now Shift, Alt, and I will do another selection over here. We have another loop, but we need to select the whole loop over here. So we still have that section over here. And now, there are multiple ways to fill this. If I'm going to right click, we're going to have the possibility to fill it over here with Alt F. I'm going to say that I want to fill that. I can also press now Alt and Y and Alt and J. As you saw with Alt and J, some of the edges that were overlapping were removed. Over here we have one edge that is still, let's say, extra. We can now subdivide this. We can now go back to the sculpting environment, and this will be similar to Geomagic. So I'm going to hold down Shift and we're going to smoothen that out. Now, the workflow was quite similar with the one in Geomagic, so the lasso selection and then the deleting. And considering that Blender is free and open source, while Geomagic isn't, I think that it's quite impressive that Blender will edit STL file like this. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this kind of content. Again, regarding FreeCAD, I will not recommend this to be used to edit STL files, as this is mostly a CAD solution that tries to integrate some CAD, but if you want a CAD solution that works with STL file meshes, I would recommend CATIA or Fusion in this case. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this kind of content. I will position a similar video over here on the left side, and I will also add a subscribe button to the right. So that's it. Thanks for watching.